thank you so much for coming today. It's a very exciting day for all of us, actually. I just appreciate that we're all able to be in one room together, and hopefully we can continue doing things like this. The last little while I've been trying to bring as many opportunities as I could for all of our students in the school. Theater, music lessons, hockey, curling, all-star athletics, volleyball. We're trying to bring as much as we can after not doing as much for a year or two. So our students have worked so hard over the last four and a half days to do this presentation. I know there was a little bit of concern and worry on some of their faces at the beginning, and within 5 minutes they were all excited about singing and dancing, and it's just been a tremendous transformation watching them over the week here. So super excited to be able to bring this to all of you today. I'm super proud of all of them. It just looked amazing on the stage. We did a rehearsal this morning and it was fantastic. So I guess I would like to really thank Kim Thompson and Robin Thompson from Rising Star Theatre. They've worked very hard to make sure everyone has learned their lines and their songs and their dances over the last four and a half days, and I'd love to give them a round of applause to begin with. I'd also like to thank our elementary teachers, Mrs. Hurd, Mrs. Quashnick, Ms. Gould, and Mrs. Eitzen, and they have done a tremendous job of, all the behind the scenes and the sound and just getting students from point A to point B, and they've done a tremendous job this week, being quite flexible and making this all happen. If we could give them a round of applause, I would appreciate it. And of course, our students have worked hard, and I'm sure you guys are going to really enjoy this presentation today. It is the play is called The Night at Castle Rock. It's pretty cute, pretty fun, and I'm sure you'll enjoy it. And with that, I think they're almost ready. Thank you.
in both melody and rhyme. It's a tale about a family that will take you back in time.
The family's name is Winterberg, known for their regal airs. This well-heeled clan and their castle grand had few, if any, cares.
Trotworthy Castle is the name of their chateau. In this lofty place, the Winterbergs were safe whenever the wind did blow.
These royals were very strange, lots of strangers we've ever seen. But why don't we let you meet them, and you'll see just what we need.
I'm Lady Hippoba, wife and mother of this motley group. Ruling the roast like a squawking goose with a heavy hand is what I do. I am Lord Winterbag, the master of Pompous Bagabag. I huff and I puff and I strut my stuff here, there, and everywhere.
Next, their tedious offspring, at least 2 of the 3, starting with Sir Dudley, as weird can be.
I talk and fluster doublespeak, no one can comprehend. Alas, I've gone throughout my life with nary a single friend.
I'm Lady Clemerson, daughter of the pack. For a worthy suitor, I do sorely lack. Some say I'm the clumsiest you'll ever meet. Seems forever tripping over my very own feet.
But then something odd you would have never guessed. Their last child, Sir Percy, stood out from all the rest.
I am Percival, or Percy for short, I guess you could say. I'm the kind, gentle sort. They say I'm charming and soulful and wit. They wonder, was I so separate? Well, the rest of my family will hunt me sick, searching for dragons. Easy dragons to say, and I started staying in my room, singing and strumming a sweet little tune.
While hunting and mayhem was the pastimes in fashion, music was truly Sir Percy's passion. So one day when his family went out to a hunt, gentle Sir Percy pulled off quite a stunt.
He called for the music lovers of the day to gather trustworthy for a grand soiree. Thus as townsfolk descended at Trustworthy Hall, the first dance would be held, a true medieval ball. And thus was launched the start of a much-loved tradition, passed on from generation to generation with repetition. And in each century, Trotworthy Castle set the pace, for the dance of the era was the happening place.
From century to century, this custom would thrive as the descendants of Sir Percy kept the dance alive. Generations passed, they all soon sing, as now Count Stepworth was the next genetically.
Like his great-great-granddad, Stepworth would inspire a tradition of dance that all would admire. Let us now take a moment to meet this next of kin, and after their introduction, let the latest dance begin.
I'm Count Stepworth, the master of this castle. We all live here in perfect bliss when there is pleasure hassle.
My name is Dame Dora, and I concur. There's not a bit of earth that I would prefer.
Well, all was not as it may appear. The family was having a very tough year. The peasants of Trotsworthy were feeling a slight. They were treated like cattle, and that just wasn't right.
As a Windbag descendant, the Count grew hot and cold. Some days he praised the peasants, on the others he would scold. His vassals and serfs were quick to point out. Given these conditions, they had every right to pout.
The Count's son and daughter had offered a little relief. In fact, on some occasions, they caused lots of grief.
As the son of a lofty regal plan, this horrid peasant problem I just don't understand. The work and toil should be their only fate in life. Why then do they show such discontent and strife?
That is Sir Cecil. He's my loving loyal brother. He's a thoughtful lad, my heart is a I'm called Dame Daphne, and this I must agree. Our peasants are a thankless lot who don't share pedigree.
Pedigree or not, my dear, our problem don't persist. Let us keep a leg of heirs to the willingness. Why not plan a splendid ball? We'll bet all of our subjects to our baronial hall.
My fathers craft your right, we'll invite them to our castle for a glorious night. Together we could dance the minuet, and through the swell music our differences will forget.
Let us all now join the party that was planned with loving care. It was quite a bashing through, for everyone was there. The peasants during the banquet, the served them a la carte, was a dance and a meal, I'm glad to reveal, to help to win their hearts. In Center Court they now dance, and their lasting fame is not left to chance. Trotsworthy became the site of enchanting balls held on many a night.
This regal family had the right to put on airs, as it was their famous castle that would host most grand affairs. Let us join them now as they prepare for a royal ball beyond compare.
Allow us to present this blustery crew who stood past your egos who now share with you. The Papa, Sir Wimple, was a true windbag, an incurable blowhard who was always quick to brag.
We're enjoying a windfall, so to speak. Our fabulous family has reached its peak. 9
none other than the king shall be here tonight, and given our station in life. 'Tis only
Sir Wimple's wife shared his lofty sentimentality, to the point that some had questions about her sanity. A former actress, Lady Laura was her name, and in Shakespearean theatre she was called a dame.
to be or to not to be, may be the thing. But who choose not to be me, if you could entertain the king, he would be attempting all fabulous faults that shall be held tonight in a voluble hall.
Twin daughters may seem like a blessing of sorts, but this wasn't the case if one reads all reports. Sarah and Claire are unidentical twins, and this is where the similarity ends and begins.
I'm Sarah, not Claire. I'm She may have your looks, but I have all the fun. No time for this fight. This is a lot of the kids. Can you give me a song?
King has watched.
All you must do is count to 3. If you want to do the waltz with me, it's simply as easy as can be. You don't even need a pedigree. No fear if you're married to left feet, as long as you're gliding with the beat. So just take my hand, here we go. Just keep going with the flow. No fear if you're married to left feet, as long as you're gliding with the beat. So just take my hand, here we go. Just keep going with the flow.
In the early 1900s, the castle was owned by a string of the Winnebags like they'd never known.
A wild and woolly bunch, my new auntie would say. With hoop-de-doo and boodoo-boodoo, favors of the day.
Let's bring them out. We're sure you'll see that life was a party for them. Yes, sir.
I'm like introduce a big flopper, but some would say I just can't keep my big flopper shut. I'm her husband, so a gambler by sport. Whenever it comes to paying bills, I always seem to come short. But we think the test of time will surely prove that dancing the Charleston was really a groove.
Lexi, this is her. Jump.
40s, the world was consumed by war, and Trustworthy was changed as never before. Soldiers staying at the castle made things quite chaotic, but the hares were down the fairs because they were patriotic.
I'm Lady Jane. I'm Baron Jane. We are truly friends with Christian deeds. We open up the castle to anyone in need. Alibis and our offspring, Lady Light and Sue Connor join forward after friends and countries on. We are so excited for the growth of the home on leave. And we're throwing them a party like we never would have.
When they came home on leave, they brought many friends along. They then threw a gala party with dancing and a song.
And for miles around Trotsworthy, you could hear them laugh and sing as they danced the latest craze, a lively thing they called the swing.
Always melts whenever they play the funny rhythm they play. It started on Journal Square. Somebody heard it. He put it right on the air, and now I hear it everywhere. I can't hear this downtown as a busy little town. Makes it sound the same. Feel so hard, glass of Jersey's far. Whether you're hip or not, there's enough to make you
After the frenzy of war, the family is bored, so they close the castle and travel abroad. But after a year, Lord Dane was behooved to give up Trustworthy to an aunt twice removed.
I'm the new mistress. And daughter's mine. And the highlight is my claim to fame. We're Lucretia and Felicia. Her globe-trotting daughters in search of rich husbands. We'll sail many waters. Some call us gold diggers climbing jets. But we'd rather be thought of as clever go-getters.
In search of treasure, they hung out with a crowd that many considered rowdy and loud.
A vast international gathering of gentry to which you and I never gain entry.
They ran with this wild bunch from far and near, and often at Trustworthy, they'd just appear.
And soon a wild party was in full swing, where dancing the latest craze was the main thing.
Mama's mambo,
They just couldn't make ends meet, try as they could. Thus the aunt, twice removed, was removed now for good.
From the 60s to the 80s, we regret to relate, Charlesworthy fell into a sad, sorry state. With creditors and predators banging on castle doors, they boarded the windows and covered the floors.
For 20 long years, it remained this way, till a long-lost cousin appeared to save the day. His name was Sir Dancelot, and he was no fool. He transformed Charlesworthy into a cheap dancing school.
I am Sir Lancelot, the lively young teacher. A rocking compilation dance will be our next feature. So sit back and enjoy it as we now invite you. Please take this number, and we sure would like to.
Last we heard, Sir Dancelot was searching for a bride, a partner for the dance school with money at his side. He called in an ad to the personals, and it read like this: Dashing youth wants to meet a charming little miss, who's looking for a home with veterans to beautify. Only lovers of music and dance need apply.
And while he waits, he teaches all the latest moves and beats. Let's join him now as a group of new students he greets.
Delia, what do you choose